microphone. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I'm not feeling the energy. Good morning, everybody. Right, as you've heard, my name is Marian, and I'd like to welcome you all to the graduation of the wonderful people we have here, the Wedding MBA program. And what we want to do before we start off with the graduation is actually have a discussion. My history is that I'm a planner, I'm a wedding and events planner and designer. And I have a group of wonderful ladies who are going to help us discuss some things that I think will help the students and anyone who is interested in the wedding industry. Okay? Okay? So you're going to help me welcome. We'll have, first and foremost, we have Shiro from Magnolia Events. Let's give her a hand. Shiro from Magnolia Events. And then we have Natasha from La Vida Events. You can sit, yeah. And then we have Chemtai from Bloomingdale Planners. Probably it's too straight. You see, we are planners, so we just need to create some U of sorts. All right. Okay. So as we wait for the microphones to come, what we want to discuss today is the impact of technology on wedding and events planning. The impact of social media. What does that mean for couples these days? What does that mean for the business people? You're just about to graduate. What does that mean for you? So I'll start off with Chemtai. Just tell us about yourself. Just take a few minutes, tell us about yourself.
My name is Chemtai Chamia, and I'm an events planner and a stationery designer. We run 2 companies, Handmade Treasures. We do all types of stationery that you will need for your social events or engagements. And Bloomingdale Planners for end-to-end planning and styling, okay? And yeah, I'm happy to be here, and congratulations, guys. This is an amazing business. It has its times, but it's amazing. So congratulations.
I like that. Tasha.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Natasha Naliaka. I run a company called La Vida Events. I'm happy to be here. I run a company, as I said, called La Vida Events, where we do concept design for weddings and events. And we also help those concepts come to reality by executing the concepts into reality. Just to say congratulations. This is a huge step you're taking. And I wish you all the best as you take the next step of this journey.
All right, and Shiro.
Hi, good morning. I'm Shiro Magira from Magnolia Event Planners. I started off like you guys, planning, but we grew into decor because we realized we need to step into that space. And congratulations, yeah? Yeah.
All right, and for your information, Tasha was seated right where you are in 2009 actually you were sitting right next to each other. So this actually feels, it's like we're graduating again. It's like, oh wow, we're back here. And it was right in the same room. I've listened to the 3 of you talk about what it is that you do. And I'd like to ask, why do something else other than planning? Let's just start there. You do stationery, you do concept design, you do decor as well, and what led to that? Because a lot of them are planners, and is it possible to do it alone? You know, let's have that discussion.
Okay. So now, as a planner, first of all, in Kenya, we're just growing into planning. You have to convince people why they need to pay you to plan the event. So first and foremost, you have to have a lot of confidence and figure out your niche. So, but as you're doing that, you probably need to eat. So this is when you start to develop other passions, like cards, decor. You find, many people have different things, sorry. By the way, we are not public people, so this is very hard. You must be very special. I don't talk in public, so this is very special. So we, like personally for Magnolia, we decided to diversify into decor so that for the clients that were not able to sell the planning bit, we are able to, at least to still continue to sustain ourselves. And also, more so, when you become a planner, you have to be behind your brand. Whatever you say you'll deliver, you must try 120% to over-deliver. So sometimes in planning, we ended up wanting to do it ourselves so that we're able to achieve what we said we would do. So that's how we moved from just planning into decor. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go straight into social media and technology, okay? How is that affecting couples in today's... I know, Chamtai, you're just getting ready.
I know, I don't know if this works. Can you hear me? So I'm laughing because social media is very positive and also somewhat negative, yeah? So it has both sides to it, just like anything in life, yeah? And so for us in the events industry, couples come to us and they say, you know, I want exactly what is on this picture on Pinterest, or I saw this on so-and-so's website. I can give an example, Preston Bailey. Yes. Yeah.
Preston Bailey, yes.
Yeah, and I'd like someone to execute exactly this. But my budget is $1 million, Bob, for 500 people.
Okay.
Okay, or 700. So these are the challenges we face because everything has a cost to it. Kenya is growing, developing. We have a wide variety now, but at the same time, the pace is not as fast as it should be. So there are things we do not have as adequately as we should. And so that leaves us very limited to what we can do with what we have within the little budget that we are presented with. So those are the challenges we have.
So how do you take, so let's say she comes, they have this image, they have this Preston Bailey wedding, which has enough flowers, and we all know how much flowers cost, and they say, this is what I want to do, and they've given you an image. Shiro, what do you do? And they've told you, I have a budget, as she said. You know, let me just, 1 million is a lot of money. If you have 100 guests, okay? If you have 200 guests, but the more the number of guests, or the more the number of guests goes up, the limited amount of money you have for each person. So that's why she's talking about 1 million. So Shiro.
So now, okay, first of all, when you're a planner, so your work is to, first of all, get them back into reality. And one thing that we do, we take the 1 million, and we divide it by other things. Leave decor alone, you have to feed people. And once you start to chew on the million, the reality kicks in that, oh, by the way, I need to do something. So there are many things you can do, either cut the number of guests or kill the big concept. But as a planner, if it is so dear to their heart for them to see something, maybe have one major thing in the room or in the tent or something that will be a showstopper that they'll see, and they'll always, it will somewhat help them achieve
their goal.
Yeah. But it's very important as a planner to sober up your client. Like, it's so important.
Tasha?
And yes, funny enough, there's a client who came to our office and said, Pinterest is America, we can't achieve it. No, we can even overachieve.
Correct.
But at a cost. Yeah. So it's good to sober your clients and let them know that, you know what, it's doable at this, but what's important to you? So that we achieve what's most important, then the rest will fall in place.
Okay, Tasha?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because at times, brides come with a lot of ideas. They have all these pictures and dreams that they've had, that how they want their wedding to be. But as a planner, it's your role to just bring them down to reality and just tell them, okay, fine, for this kind of wedding, this is how much it's going to cost. Okay. For your kind of budget, this is how much it's going to cost. So as a planner, as much as, yes, we bring them down to reality, but also find ways, creative ways of trying to achieve that wedding that they want to achieve. As she said, look for that one important element that they say, this one I cannot do without, I must have this. Say it's photography, I must have the top photographer in my wedding. Then for the rest, we can see how we can manage to work it within their budget. Right. So it's just a matter of working what is the most important element, work with that, and then I'll see how the rest come into play.
Yeah, you wanted to, you're just.
I'm actually just like Shiro, so I don't like speaking in public. But I think there are two ways I look at it. Number one is to the first thing I do is divide the amount by the number of people attending the wedding.
Correct.
That actually brings, everyone to reality, yeah? Divide it by the number of people, and then get a non-negotiable. What's a non-negotiable for anyone for their event? For some people, it's food. For some people, it's cake. For some people, it's the gown or the setup, So it's different for everybody. So once you get those two, I think you find a ground to begin from.
All right. So let's move on from, we're really affected by social media. And if you notice, the three of you have just gone straight into the negative in terms of, the challenges. So let's look at the good things that social media has done for the brides and the grooms that come and see you. Tasha?
I think for me it's challenging because you don't want to see weddings the same. You don't want to see a wedding today, then next year it's the same thing. The 10 years to come is still the same thing. So the good thing about social media, it kicks your creativity. It helps you to really think and see, okay, since this is being done in the US, how can we be able to make it work in Kenya? What elements do we have in Kenya to make it look even more than what is on Pinterest? So for me, social media helps me to just be creative and just find ways that I can be able to bring value to the couple.
Okay, so what I've found is that when people come to me, when brides, especially brides, they send me a mood board and they invite me to their Pinterest page. And I find that really easy because then now I can see all their ideas and make sense of it. So what are the other, good things that we thank social media for in addition to the challenges?
I guess it all boils down to refreshing our minds.
Yeah.
And putting a new spin to the old mix, so to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So the students are about to get into the world out there. Some I know are already in the business. Some are about to go in. I know for a fact if you want to be a wedding or an events planner in this day and age, you cannot do it without social media. Now, how has that changed? We've all, you've been, amongst the four of us, we have a total of 35 years worth of experience. So how has social media changed the way we're managing the events industry at the moment?
I think social media has challenged us to do things very, very professionally because we want the event industry to be recognized, like any other. And doctors and lawyers in the house, please.
And thanks, parents.
And thank you, parents. But the event industry is as much professional as any other corporate entity. And
are you not happy about that?
Yeah.
I know. So in that way, so social media pushes us to do better, better contracts, better mood boards,
Yes.
better styling.
Yeah.
We have more sophisticated couples because of the exposure we get from the internet. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because of...
All right, you want to say
And the
something?
fact that, like Pinterest, it literally puts the whole world in one app, So you get to see what people in Australia are doing, China. I don't know if you guys know how to navigate Pinterest, but I've ever found myself in Korea, and I'm like, okay. But it actually, the whole world is in Pinterest, so it helps us pick a little bit of China, Kenya, and create your own event, so that you're also not replicating, as she said.
Yeah, all the time, as Tasha was also saying. So one of the things we're noticing is that people are moving from emails to the messaging apps. So we're doing a lot of WhatsApp, and so it's becoming a challenge to work from 8 to 5. It was a challenge before.
Yeah, but Marion,
yeah.
I honestly like to encourage everyone, and maybe this is just important for the graduates, because you can't run away from emails. You cannot.
Yeah.
You have to keep it because it's a platform where you can track everything.
Yes.
Conversations have to be transferred on email. And that's where your outlook on professionalism is.
Correct.
WhatsApp is good. It's very consistent, but the email cannot be replaced.
So how do we balance that, Tasha? Because she's right. If I want to, I've had couples come to me like 5 months later saying, this is not what we agreed on. And it's very easy for me to track back and say, look, please find the email. Or someone said, you didn't pay for this. We gave you the money for the photographer. And I'm like, no, you did not. So you can try. But now I'm finding it easier to, WhatsApp it's something I can't also ignore. So how do we create a balance, in your opinion?
Yes, we can't ignore it, but we can create boundaries.
Okay.
From the word go, even when you're signing contracts with your client, contracts are important. So as you get a client on board, just make sure you have that contract on already. And as you do that, create your boundaries then. Make it clear to your clients that you work between these hours and these hours. Because at times, a client will message you at midnight and expect a response at midnight and 1 minute, which may not be possible. So create those boundaries from the word go. So they are clear. If I call Tasha at 1 a.m., she may not respond, but she'll respond when she wakes up at 6 or 7 in the morning. So just create those boundaries early enough and make it clear to them on your working hours and what works for you.
So what happens if she sends you a message? Okay, you just go online, and it's a Friday evening and you're out and you're having a good time, and 9 p.m. Hi, I know you're not supposed to be working, but I have a question. And she can clearly see that you're online. What do you do?
I think, like Tasha says, manage expectations from the word go.
Okay.
When they text you at that hour, it's important to acknowledge that you've received the message or the email. It's a quick thing. Just say, I acknowledge receipt, but can I please get back to you? Explain yourself, because that's important for the relationship, to communicate. Communicate with your clients as much as possible. Because fortunately, the events industry is such that it's passion and heart-driven.
Okay.
It's very heart-driven. So you cannot run away from talking to your clients past hours. We can't. That's just a reality. And sometimes they think about ideas. Maybe the other way is to tell them, put down the notes on the group or on the chat. When I find them, I will respond, So it's important to keep the communication. Don't be quiet. Don't say, it's my past working hours, so I will not do anything. Just communicate.
Yeah. And you've brought up another point, the whole group idea. You want to elaborate on that? I find that when a couple signs up, as soon as they sign up, then it's nice to create a group because it makes life a little bit easier. Because then if you have ideas, just post them there and I'll help. I'm seeing social media also kind of changing the relationship between us and the couples. How has that affected how you relate to your couples? Are you getting more? Because it's like it's bringing us closer. Then you can't just say this is business.
It's bringing us closer, but still remember you're a professional. Yeah. Do not start forwarding funny jokes in that. And also, your profile photo has to be professional. Don't put your kids or personal things in your WhatsApp if it's your business line. Make it close, but I don't know. Am I making sense? Professional.
I think I support what Shiro is saying. It's important to realize that as much as we're in a relationship-based business, it's important to know that the relationship can come after. It can come after we've done a good job, and not during. It's good. We can have. Yeah. Let's not. Let me not say. Oh, some clients say, "Oh, hey, Han. Oh, hi there." And I have to be careful not to cross the boundaries.
And say, hey, Han, back to you.
It's okay. I think you can respond that way, but I think just keep your limits. Keep your limits and still do a good job, regardless of how friendly your clients get.
So profile pics, I'm finding that a very important thing. You brought up a good point. One of my students, I will not mention them because they're here today, they had... their profile pic had like a wig, looking like a clown. It's just like, what is this? And they were helping me in one of my events. So one day I went and I asked them, I said, please explain to me, do you want to have 2 lines because you're a planner? And if a bride sees this, they might believe, is this a clown? Entertainment? So they had to expound and tell me they have 2 businesses. So they're into kids events, right? And they're also into planning. So what would you advise someone like that to do? Because I know what I told them, but I would like to hear, Tasha, what, because this is their industry. I mean, this is what they do. I can't be like this and I'm saying I'm entertaining kids. No one, I look like, too serious for them, morbid. What would you tell them?
If you can have 2 business lanes, go ahead. Yeah. But also, I think each company, if you have 2 businesses, it must have an umbrella. And the umbrella could be the one that is supporting those 2 businesses, which could be now your profile picture. It could be your logo or something along those lines. And me seeing the clown, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a good clown, So probably a logo for me is probably the best thing that you can put. If you can do 2 business lines, then go ahead and do 2 business lines.
Yeah. I'm sure we were saying that when you graduate from school, you can either start your own business or you can actually get employed by another events company that's been there for a number of years. So if you see a profile pic, what does that tell you? I know you've been in business for a while. Is social media making us judge people before we even?
Unfortunately, image is everything.
Okay.
Image is everything. If you see me today, I'll either give you the confidence.
Sorry.
I'll either give you the confidence that I can do your event or not.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just first impressions. We only get one chance to give an impression, just one. So it better be right.
All right. So I like that idea of having, I didn't think of that actually. I thought, get 2 lines. This is planning and this is entertainment. And because that caught my attention, I'm like, oh, what's this? Okay, but then I'm like, okay, but, So how would you tell someone like that what's the cheapest way? Because I've just started. I don't have a lot of resources open to me. I might not be able to go and register all those different companies. What's the safest, in your opinion? I mean, how can you?
2 businesses?
Yeah, like.
To start in 2 businesses?
Yeah, like I'm talking about that person.
Okay.
So because she's saying have 2 companies.
She's an entertainer?
She's entertainer
and a
planning.
planner.
Do you know how much it is to register a business? I mean, guys.
Okay, so to be honest, back when we were starting, I started off because I'm passionate about interiors. So I started off with Bloomingdale planners and interiors. Then I had to sit back because both of them were very demanding. So you have to sit back and ask yourself, what's my true passion? What will keep me going even when things are down, when things are difficult, when I have challenges? What will keep me grounded?
Yeah.
So once you realize what that is, for us it was now the event planning. Once you realize what that is, it's easy to now start with that. That's my encouragement to this person. Start with where your true north is, where your passion, where your heart is.
Yeah.
Start with that because you can't have both of them.
All right.
There's one that's stronger than the other.
Great. So before we end, contracts, you talk about contracts. How has technology affected how you operate? Has that helped you or we're still far? Anyone?
I think it has. We have invoicing apps.
Yes.
We have contract apps.
Yes.
We have checklist apps. I mean, there's so many things online that can help your business skyrocket.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, every day you keep learning, so it's not an automatic, I have these apps, then I'll grow. No.
Okay.
It's a gradual thing, and you acquire them slowly. Yeah, the best ones are the ones that you're charged, but I mean.
So what app, let's give them some leakage. What app do you like? I'm sure we can share.
For invoicing, I love Wave. Wave has worked very well. For HR, I like the Wingu Box. Wingu Box is a Kenyan software you guys should get for HR.
Oh, really?
It's amazing. Yeah, you should get it. So those 2 are my favorite.
And planning? What's your planning?
For planning, I have Planning Pod, which now helps me create checklists, timelines. It will send reminders to the couples on what is due when we have a meeting. So for me, Planning Pod is the best for planning.
And invoicing, what do you use?
Invoicing, I use Sage Accounting, which
Yeah.
also has HR.
Ah, it
Yeah.
does?
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. And you?
Trello.
Trello.
Trello. Invoicing and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm old school. Still doing it the old-fashioned way.
So what Shiro is trying to tell us is, yes, you have this world of technology,
Yeah.
but you need to adapt to it.
You need to pace
yourself.
Pace yourself. Don't rush to everything. And it doesn't mean that now that Tasha has planning pod, that's it. You have to take it and tweak it to what your company is, to your standards, to your morals. Everything that you believe in should be aligned to this app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's stress. Okay, go on.
And speaking of which, your clients will come and tell you, by the way, why should I hire a planner? Because I have,
A planning app.
so why should they? So you need to remind them the app will not run around. And you need to sell yourself. The app will not figure out the caterer has burnt the food and therefore plan B, So you need to, it's a good thing for yourself, but you need to know how to market yourself with it to your client so that your client drops it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I cannot overemphasize the importance of heart in business. So work with heart, and no internet platform can replace the work that we do.
Yeah.
No internet platform can replace that. None. We still save you a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of vetting. We save you a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in summary, we can say some of the quick apps that you can take. Trello. I find Trello works very well when you're working collaboratively with other people. There's Sage, which I also use because that helps. Click, click, click. You can do a quotation, a proposal as you're driving. You can stop by the petrol station and chip, and off it goes. And then you talked about Winglebox, which is a Kenyan software. So these are softwares that you should go download and see how they work, and they can make life easier. Because if you ignore it, you're ignoring it to your own peril. Yeah? So ladies and gentlemen, that's all we had today. Did you do okay? Did you learn something? At least now the room is a little bit warmed up. But please, does anyone have, one question, one or two questions, and then we can wind up. Anyone with a question? Okay, you're not a graduate, but there you go. All right.
Good afternoon. Now that you guys were talking about social media and they are positive and negative, I wanted to understand how it is affecting the competition in pricing. Does it make you bring it down? As in, how do you cope with that? Because there's a lot of...
You have to know your worth.
Yeah, know your worth.
Know your worth.
Know your worth.
And you stick by it.
Yeah.
And
You see, they all started talking.
Yes.
At the same time. This is affecting
and
us.
it's okay to be called expensive. It's okay.
It's okay.
Because you know your worth. And there's a lady I know, actually, she's not even in this country, but she started an event company. And because it's somebody I know, I went to their Instagram page, and they had #cheap_deco. That killed me. How now? How could you call yourself #cheap_deco? Do not trade yourself as cheap. Why? You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Hey, no, you're not cheap. You give your worth. Do your research and give your worth. Also in the same breath, don't cut corners. Don't go buy secondhand flowers. Try and get a good vendor to supply you good quality flowers, so that when a client comes and says, you know what, my friend paid the same thing for X, you can actually say why, and then understand your product. So that when you're talking, you're not just saying, I will bring you a centerpiece, break it down. I will put for you, and you drop the scientific names, chrysanthemums, gypsophilas, and they're like, whoa, you know your stuff, you're worth the money.
Gypsophilia.
Yeah,
and peonies that we don't have in this country, they don't know.
Yes.
Just keep on going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing your product will also help you, so that when people come and tell you, I want tulips, you will know to say, they don't grow in this world, but I can export them in for you at this cost, yeah? Know your worth. Remember, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're not cheap. Yes.
And
Okay, yeah, Chimtai.
sorry, and you have to keep reading, keep staying above. Keep staying above and knowing what's new, the trends and everything, and then run your race, run your own race. Do not try and be like Magnolia or like Bloomingdale or like Aura. Don't try and be like anyone. Just be you. Run your race. When you run your race, you discover that your talents unleash slowly, and it's organic.
And the market is saturated. So
Wow,
what you do,
okay.
you pray for people to fall in love. That's all you do. There's enough bread and meat for everybody. Yeah, don't cause, like let's say if I know a client is seriously talking to Chemtai, and then they come to me to compare, we exchange notes.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
do.
by the way,
Yeah.
your bride was over here. You see, and real life experience. We have a wedding tomorrow, and my bride wanted to pull some things and called yet another planner who's not here, and the planner was like, "Aren't you doing this wedding?" I said, "Yes, we are." He called back, "All our things are not available." As in, you back each other up. You don't fight each other.
Yeah. She mentioned pricing, and I think what you need to know about social media helps. It complements. It's not the only thing that's out there. So you need to know who your target market is. Because you see, yes, cheap, it's okay, it's how you put it, the words and the language you use. You might actually be targeting low end because there's a market like that. So social media should help you, right, target that particular market. So for example, if saying cheap is going to get them coming to that website for low end deco, but use another word, yeah? But it's fair,
Fairly priced.
value for money,
Exactly.
things like that. Yeah. We're almost out of time. So does anyone have a burning question before I close it? Anyone? Graduates? Well, that's all we had for you today. Thank you so much for listening to us. I believe that it's been beneficial. I know you're not a graduate today, but I hope to see you soon, right, in the class. And thank you.